You're listening to The Tom Daniel Show, and I'm your host, Tom Daniel. Welcome to another episode of The Tom Daniel Show, where we explore the intersections of music, history, culture, and the human experience. Today we're exhausting a compelling question that sits somewhere between art, biology, and lived experiences. Can music exert physical effects on the human body? Not magical, not metaphorical or superstition or spells or elves or dwarves or paranormal influence. I'm talking about measurable, physiological, medical change. This episode explores what happens when oscillating air pressure, what we call sound, interacts with nerves, muscles, hormones, and biological systems. Now, whether we realize it or not, music is already physical. It's not an abstract emotional concept floating around freely in your mind. Music is vibration, physical vibration, sound waves that enter the ear canal, strike the eardrum, and set off a cascade of mechanical and electrical processes. Neuroscientists have known a long time that hearing is not passive. It is a full-bodied biological negotiation between external sound and internal organs. Heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, skin conductance, digestion, motor response, and endocrine output all show measurable change when influenced by sound. The effects may be subtle or dramatic, therapeutic or harmful, pleasant or distressing. But either way, they are real. And our modern question here is not new. The ancient Greeks, particularly thinkers like Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle, believed that music possessed the power to act directly upon the human body. For them, music was not merely pleasurable or decorative. It was a regulating force capable of aligning the physical and moral order of a person. Pythagoras and his followers taught that musical intervals had a harmonizing effect on the body and could restore balance to what they understood as biological and psychological disturbance. Now, Aristotle, in his Politics, discusses how certain musical modes, what we might loosely compare to scales, could excite, pacify, or purge strong emotion, a process the Greeks aligned with catharsis, which they considered not merely emotional, but physiological. In other words, sicknesses could be healed, people could be induced to passion, or warriors frenzied enough to fight simply by hearing the correct music. Now, while these interpretations are framed through the medical and philosophical vocabulary of antiquity, rather than modern lab-based science, they demonstrate that the idea of music acting directly upon the human body has a long, serious intellectual history. For something that didn't really happen, boy, the Greeks sure wrote a lot about it. Today we look not to mythic healing chambers or philosophical idealism, but to peer-reviewed studies and measurable effects. The research is broad, but several areas stand out here. First, cardiovascular and respiratory response. Controlled studies show that tempo and rhythm can influence heart rate acceleration or deceleration. It can influence blood pressure fluctuation, breathing synchronization with musical phrasing, parasympathetic nervous system activation during slow, steady music. Slow, regular rhythm patterns may promote relaxation, while fast, percussive rhythms can elevate sympathetic arousal, similar to mild stress response. Okay, the second thing, hormones and neurochemistry. Music can increase or decrease levels of cortisol, stress hormone, dopamine and endorphins, reward and pleasure, oxytocin, bonding and trust. These are chemical changes, not philosophical or magical changes. They're medical, measurable chemical changes. Number 3, physical pain perception. Music therapy has been documented to reduce perceived pain intensity in postoperative recovery, burn treatment, and even dental procedures. The mechanisms include attentional redirection, emotional modulation, and endorphin release, but the result is tangible, not imaginary. Number 4, memory. Music therapy has also been used as a tool to help patients with various forms of dementia temporarily regain their memories and their sense of self. Again, it's only temporary and it wears off quickly, but the results are dramatic and sometimes kind of tear-jerking. Number 5, motor function and rehabilitation. Patients with Parkinson's disease and post-stroke patients often show improved gait and motor coordination when movement is paired with rhythmic auditory cues. Music can serve as an external timing structure when internal neurological timing is impaired. Number 6, potential for harm. We've got to also acknowledge documented negative physical effects of music. Volume-induced hearing damage, low-frequency vibration fatigue, music-triggered seizures in extremely rare cases of reflex epilepsy. Now, the point is not that music is universally therapeutic. It is physiologically active across the board. Now, music is touch without contact. When viewed from a biological standpoint, music behaves like a non-tactile physical agent. It doesn't require contact, heat, chemical absorption, or visible force to alter human physiology. It acts through vibration, translated into neurological command, meaning that music can influence muscle tension, posture, facial expression, memory recall, hormonal regulation, rhythm and breathing. In other words, music is a physical stimulus disguised as aesthetics. You're listening to The Tom Daniels Show, and we'll be right back.
What are you waiting for? The Tom Daniels Show. What are you waiting for? The Tom Daniels Show. What are you waiting for? The Tom Daniels Show.
Welcome back to The Tom Daniels Show. Hey, if Mary Mac can produce authentic Greek music like that, then everybody else just needs to hang it up and quit. I mean, Mary Mac is the world's most perfect band. So we're left here with 3 basic questions about music and its physical effects on the human body. Number 1, can music heal sickness, as the Greeks believed? Well, when philosophers like Pythagoras and physicians in the Hippocratic tradition spoke of healing, they were referring to restoring balance to the body and psyche. Illness was understood not in terms of, microbes or cellular pathology, but harmony versus disharmony in the person. So healing by music meant returning the self to equilibrium emotionally, morally, and physically. Today, while music cannot cure infections, remove tumors, knit broken bones, or reverse organ disease, music can demonstrably influence pain perception, stress hormones, immune function, heart rate and blood pressure, sleep quality, depression and anxiety. Several studies show that music therapy can improve clinical outcomes in surgery, cancer treatment, stroke rehabilitation, and in chronic pain. It's not a cure, but it can be part of the healing process. So while the ancient belief was overstated, the ancient intuition was absolutely correct. Our second question here: could people be induced to passion through the correct music? Yes. Unequivocally, yes. Modern psychology, neuroscience, and marketing research confirm that music strongly modulates emotions and arousal states. For example, love songs stimulate oxytocin-linked bonding. Music with slow tempo and warm timbre induces relaxation. Music with sustained dissonance or minor keys evokes unease or sadness. Rhythmic intensity increases sympathetic nervous system activity. We see musical emotional manipulation in religious ritual, film scoring, advertising, courtship, political rallies, therapy. Here, the Greeks were absolutely correct, and modern science solidly affirms it. Our third question: could warriors truly be frenzied to fight just by music? Well, once again, the answer is yes, and this has been verified across cultures and eras. Think about the rebel yell in the Civil War, Scottish bagpipes in battle, West African war drumming traditions, ancient Roman marching horns, Viking and Germanic war chants, those huge Japanese taiko battle drums, modern military cadence songs, stadium hype music even at football games, combat sports entrance themes. Music can increase adrenaline release, aggression priming, pain tolerance, synchronization and group cohesion, risk-seeking behavior. These are not metaphors. Fight readiness and pain reduction can be measured physiologically, and music does have an influence. So here again, the Greeks were surprisingly correct in principle. So putting it all together, the Greeks were not right in the literal sense that music can cure infection or mend a bone, but they were deeply right about two foundational truths. Music acts on the body, not just the mind. Different musical structures produce different physical and emotional outcomes. Now, their mistake wasn't in the concept, it was just in the scope and mechanism. Now, music is definitely not a replacement for medicine, but it is a form of physiological and psychological modulation that can directly influence healing, emotion, motivation, and behavior in measurable ways. But the Greeks may not have had EEG machines, endocrine assays, or double-blind experimental controls, but they correctly suspected that music was capable of influencing the body, not only the mind. They lacked germ theory, neurology, and endocrinology, so they interpreted physiological change as mystical change. Today, through neuroscience and medical research, we understand that this ancient intuition aligns with measurable clinical reality. Music is not magic. Music is not supernatural. Music is not metaphor. But music is vibration, and vibration is a physical event. So the real question now is not whether music affects the body, but how far those effects can go once fully understood. So why am I even doing a topic like this in my podcast? Well, as some of you know, I've got a separate podcast called Requiem Radio that deals in ghost stories. All content is original Gothic horror mixed with music in some way. In fact, in each episode, I say where music bleeds into the supernatural. Now, in the world of Requiem Radio, episode 46 is called The Black Bones of Mahia, and it introduces you to a new hero of mine named Delaney Crow. Delaney is someone that can do exactly what I just finished talking about in this episode of The Tom Daniels Show. She brandishes music as a physical weapon. She can kill you by singing. Now, it's not anything magical, mystical, or haunted. It's science. Delaney, in a nutshell, she is dangerous without being evil. She's gifted without being chosen. She's traumatized without being broken. And she's very powerful without wanting power. The song that she sings as a weapon is called the Black Bones Hymn. And it's not a spell. It's not a curse. It is a neurological phenomenon. It is traumatic auditory assault. It's adaptive. It's not supernatural. And it's capable of either killing or healing. depending on how she wants to use it. The Black Bones of Mahia is the first of 3 short stories that I've written about Delaney Crowe and the Black Bones hymn, and those other episodes are coming soon to Requiem Radio. This has been the Tom Daniels Show. Keep listening and keep learning.
Keep listening, keep learning. The Tom Daniel Show. Keep listening, keep learning. The Tom Daniel Show. Take a break from your usual routine and tune into the Tom Daniel Show. You'll discover the world of melodies and stories.